Hey, what is up, guys? It is Cameron Talks Football. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the final updated wild card weekend and who each team is going to play in this upcoming week's wild card, super wild card weekend, or whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be a good week of football. There's a lot of good storylines, a lot of good matchups. I think it's going to be some good football. I don't think there's really going to be any blowouts. Possibly the only one. There's only one possible blowout that I think could possibly happen. So let's get right into it. Let's see exactly what these teams are going to be looking like here. As you can see, we got the first game on Saturday. We have the Cleveland Browns playing the Houston Texans at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I think this is honestly going to be a really great game just because we have Joe Flacco playing the Houston Texans, and we have the Houston Texans going against pretty much the team that they traded Deshaun Watson to. They're going to be showing that they didn't need Deshaun Watson, that they're able to build around a young quarterback in CJ Stroud. I don't know why I just had a real long pause there. I don't know how I didn't remember his name for a second. But yeah, CJ Stroud is going to be showing that he is one of those top quarterbacks that can play in the playoffs as a young quarterback. It's really hard for these young quarterbacks to prove themselves in the playoffs because they usually don't have that playoff experience like these seasoned vets do. However, I think this is going to be a really good game because both of these teams can pass the ball, but the Cleveland Browns have the edge on the defensive side as well as in the running game with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. However, the Texans, they don't have as strong of a running game with Devin Singletary and Dameon Pierce. Their passing game mainly comes from Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. Those are really where their main passing routes come from, since they don't have Tank Dell for the rest of the season because I'm pretty sure he fractured his fibula, which is not a fun injury to have. It seems like that is a really painful one. I've never had it, and I hope I never do have it. But I know that seems like a really painful injury for him to have. How I do think that let's see. I think this is gonna be a really good game. I'm pretty sure even though the Texans are at home, I'm pretty sure they are the underdogs. And I am going to take this is really honestly this is a really tough decision. I think I'm gonna honestly have to take the Houston Texans. I like how they play, and I like how they've been playing these past couple of weeks. Their defense has been good with Derek Stingley Jr. and all those people that they have on that defensive side of the ball. They've just been playing honestly really great football. And I think this is going to be all these matchups are good, except really the Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills. I think all these matchups are good matchups to be seen here. So then we have the Miami Dolphins playing the Kansas City Chiefs on Peacock. So that's just why it says that. It's usually they're not on Peacock. Usually they're on NBC or Fox, NBC, Fox, or CBS. Those are usually the three channels that they're on. But we have it on Peacock for some reason. I don't know why. That does not matter to this, really. The main storyline is that Tyreek Hill is traveling back to Kansas City in the playoffs. Are we going to see Tyreek Hill take out the Chiefs, or are we going to see the Chiefs prove that they didn't need Tyreek Hill to make it this far and to win a playoff game? Because winning regular season games are something different than winning playoff games. In playoffs, you need explosive plays. The Chiefs really don't have that in their receiving game. I honestly I think their best receiver is Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce isn't really have that good of a season, but then you do have Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco has been having a great season. He runs hard every single play. He doesn't go down easy for as small of a back as he is. But then their defense is honestly improving really well. Chris Jones is playing great. Trent McDuffie is playing great. And they just have a bunch of people on that defensive side as such, just as L'Jarius Sneed, he is absolutely putting people on lock. If you look at the past couple of weeks, he's holding star players to not that many yards or receptions, and that is exactly what you need from your corners in the playoffs. But they are playing the Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Dolphins, they have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they have a bunch of speed. They have Braxton Berrios. They have a bunch of these people that can have speed on the inside, outside, and they also have speed at running back with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert. But then I think the main struggle might just be Tua. We've been seeing Tua not have the best couple of weeks in these playoffs here. But honestly, I think they're gonna have. I think it's gonna be a good year for. I think it's gonna be not a good year. I don't know why it's a good year. I think it's gonna be a good playoff game, and I think that the Miami Dolphins are gonna take out the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs they've been struggling, and I think this is where they're going to continue to struggle because they didn't honestly end the season super well, I would say. They started off the season pretty good, but they didn't end the season well. So did the Miami Dolphins. They're going to need to both figure it out right here because it is the playoffs, but I think the Miami Dolphins firepower and superstar team is going to take over and they are going to win this game. So those are the two games for Saturday. I have the Houston Texans winning and I have the Miami Dolphins winning. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills. Not that much to talk about here. The Steelers have been playing pretty good football, not too bad to get into the playoffs. Mike Tomlin has had 17 straight years of not having a losing record. That is honestly really impressive. But then you don't possibly have TJ Watt, arguably the best defensive pass rusher in the NFL. You could either say him, Myles Garrett, or Micah Parsons, but honestly, I think it is TJ Watt, just because he is doing it so consistently for this team and for the teams that he plays for. I just think it's gonna be a really big hole that they are gonna have to try and fill there. So I think the Buffalo Bills are gonna win pretty easily. Just like in the next game, I think the Cowboys are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be super easy because the Packers do usually play pretty well against the Cowboys, even though in those other games that they did play against them, they did have Aaron Rodgers. I do still think I do still think that the Packers are going to have a good game against them. I don't think they're going to win. I think the Packers are going to show up, like, put up a fight for like the whole first half, and then it's going to like start to die out because the Dallas Cowboys at home are arguably the best team in the playoffs. You could really say that they arguably are the best team in the playoffs. So I think Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and all those players, and it's mainly going to come from those two. If he can slow down CeeDee Lamb, like not have him over 80 plus yards and a touchdown, I think you can win this game. But if he goes over 100 with 7+ receptions and like more than one touchdown, then yeah, you are not going to win this game if you are the Green Bay Packers. It's just not going to be a good game for them. What the Packers can do, they can try and slow down this game, keep the ball away from the Cowboys, play situational football, don't force anything downfield. Jordan Love has been playing great football. He's been turning it over very rarely in the last half of the season. And if they want to win this game, you can't have any turnovers. This is the one game of the season where you can't have any turnovers. If you have a turnover, this defense is going to capitalize. They might take it back for a pick six with Deron Bland, or they might do a strip sack with Micah Parsons or a big sack with Micah Parsons. But if they run outside, that is where they have a bunt. They still have a good pass rushers. They have everybody on that defensive side. They are just a good team, in my opinion. I think they can. I honestly think NFC Championship game might be Cowboys versus 49ers. And I think that is going to be one hell of a game. Next, this is honestly probably the biggest storyline here. We have Matthew Stafford, former Lions quarterback, heading back to Detroit for the Detroit Lions' first home game, I think in over like 30 years or something like that. I think that might be wrong, but I think that's what I heard. Honestly, it does sound pretty true. But yeah, this is going to be one hell of a game. Matthew Stafford promised to bring the Lions to the playoffs. He really wasn't able to like super well or win. Oh, he has brought them to the playoffs. He just didn't win them a game. But are they going to are the Lions going to stop that? How are the Lions going to feel? Like, I understand they want the best for Matthew Stafford, but when going against them, they definitely don't want him to win. Lions fans want to win, and I think it's going to be a good game next week when the Cowboys would play the Lions. So that means I have the Detroit Lions winning this game. I think it's both good offenses, but I think the Lions have a little more firepower than Los Angeles Rams. The Rams do have a good defense and a good run game and a good pass game with Puka Nacua on the outside, leading rookie receptions and receiving yards in a single season. But I do have the Detroit Lions winning. Next game is the Monday Night Football matchup versus the Eagles and the Buccaneers. This is going to be really interesting just because Philadelphia has been playing pretty terrible and Buccaneers have honestly been playing pretty good. So, how is this going to go? We have AJ Brown hurt. We have Jalen Hurts, like all banged up and hurt. And they just honestly been playing pretty terrible. They started off like 10-1, and then they ended up 11-6. You don't want to do that. That is not good. They easily could have had that 1 seed, but they messed it up pretty badly. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on an upset win here. I think this is going to be one hell of a game, but I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win this game at home with Baker Mayfield and continue his storybook playoff ride. I don't know how it's going to go against the 49ers. We'd have to see if injuries happen throughout practices, but I do think it's going to be a good game with the Eagles and Buccaneers. So those are the playoff matches and those who I think are going to win. If you guys do have if you guys do think something else, like of who's going to win or who's going to lose, make sure you guys do let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys drop a like, and until then, I'll see you guys next time.